It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Good evening, sports fans. This is 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith. Our featured matchup tonight out in New York, where the Knicks will be going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans comes into this one following a loss to the 76ers. That game was high scoring. Tonight, they'll need to be better defensively. And tonight, we get to see DeAndre Jordan. Kenny's come a long way since being drafted in the second round back in 2008.
Man, I can't believe he's been in the league over a decade. That's amazing. Either you're getting old or he's getting old.
I'm not getting old. I'm not aging at all.
One of you guys are getting old. But he went from a project to an NBA All-Star.
Excellent defender, excellent rebounder. Most of his points come within 5 feet of the basket. Drafted in the second round. But guess what? Kenny's got the $200 million.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us.
It's an interconference contest here in the Big Apple, New York, as the Knicks play one at home. We're all set to bring you NBA action. With Brent Barry and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan, and David Aldridge will be joining us on the sideline as well. And, of course, Stanley Johnson. This will be his second game with his new team, working on getting familiar with the system and the integration process.
You know, I'm excited and somewhat anxious to see how this team is going to evolve since the trade was made. I mean, he is a guy that could end up being a key player for them as we get ready to hit that stretch run.
And with tip-off coming up, we've got just enough time to hear from our good friend David Aldridge on the sideline. D.A., take it away.
Well, guys, you remember that Anthony Davis had a growth spurt in high school that took him from a 6'2" guard to a 6'10" big man. Now, he remembered telling his mother, I can't fit in my bed, I can't fit in my shoes, I can't fit in these jeans you brought me. And her saying, I just bought those 3 weeks ago. Kevin?
It's all paid off in the long run, though. Thanks, D.A. Brent, you played for 14 seasons. What kind of off-season training did you do personally to keep in shape?
I had a great trainer in Southern California that I would go home to every year and work on different things. It was funny, Kevin, because as you get a little bit older, you can be a little more specific with how you train. You understand how you're going to be used, the type of minutes you're going to play, so it can be a little bit more specialized. I'm not sure if I could tell you this, but I surfed a lot in the off-season.
Balance.
Core, right?
Core balance.
All right,
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you. Check box.
Now let's take a look at the starters for New Orleans. Payton and Holiday are together in the backcourt. Miller is out there with Anthony Davis, and it's Okafor in at the center position. And it's Miller penetrating, and the shot goes in.
You always hear about chemistry. That's a perfect example, knowing where each other is at all times.
Smith outside, and then Smith with the dunk.
I like whenever Smith leaps up high for the jam. He's a guy that just doesn't mess around when he's in attack mode to get to the rim.
Now here's Payton. Pass to Okafor. Stolen by Robinson, and Elfrid Payton with the foul. That's his first foul.
Kind of a ticky-tack foul there, but you have to be aware that's how the refs are going to blow the whistle tonight.
Here's Trier, guarded by Holiday. Outside Robinson. Smith outside.
Well, without the D from Holiday there, that shot probably has a better chance of going in. His hustle altered that attempt.
Miller outside, passes it to Davis. Kicks it to Payton. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Davis, over Vonleh, and Davis can't get it to go.
And getting a hand in the shooter's face, locking down that in-between area.
Just taking on the challenge on every possession. I love defenders who give nothing away. And those close-range shots are what you want him taking. They always have a great chance of falling.
Down low, trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Here's Knox, covered by Miller. Smith, the pass to Knox. Here's Trier, covered by Miller. The shot by Trier, no good.
Looked a little bit forced. No reason for it either. The defense was not even in the frame.
Stolen by Robinson. For the finish, and it's Robinson with the jam.
Well, that's why they're in front. Aggressive play at both ends. Nicely done.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans. Their last encounter was in New Orleans.
Yeah, and they really squeaked out a close one in that last matchup. Came down to just a few turnovers that gave them the margin of victory.
Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. You take a look at the Raptors. They hold the first place spot in the conference just right where they want to be. They've got momentum. And of course, there's the Knicks. They're looking to turn it around down at the bottom of the conference now.
And seeing where the Knicks are, nobody was calling on them to kind of set the world on fire. But even those modest expectations have yet to be realized.
Yep, any glimmers of hope that may have been there early for them have all just disappeared at this point. It's looking more and more like a season that will not end well for this team.
Working the in-between area, the kind of look that can get you into a rhythm early.
Yeah, scratching my head a little bit about how the defense is trying to play this. No one there really contesting the shot.
Here's Trier. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game, and it's out of bounds to the Pelicans. Let's get some information from the 2K leaderboard. In about the last 10 games in the NBA, during that span, these teams have the most second chance points in the league. The Pelicans fourth.
Really something to see. Their effort on the offensive glass has just led to so many second chance opportunities.
Now here is Holiday. They had a 24-point outing in their last game against the 76ers in Philadelphia.
Well, the thing he did most was fluster the defense. I really liked how he showed no fear and constantly attacked the lane and drew contact, which in turn got him the free throws.
And right in the teeth of the defense, making a statement early in this one.
Yeah, pinpointing the rim protection with that attack, and no one makes enough of an effort there to stop him.
Frazier, he's checked in for Payton. Frazier against Smith. There's the pass to Robinson. Now here's Vonleh. Defense is right there to the inside. And Okafor with the block. Davis down low. Guarded by Robinson. And it's slammed in by Davis.
So you're going to give AD that kind of room? Well, here's the payoff for that.
New York trailing.
Well, Pelicans a much better team last year than they've been in the past. Still have some areas to address before maybe they become a home court advantage team or a top 4 seed. But the number one thing is they've got to get some more consistency in their outside game.
Here's Trier. 8 points his last outing. On the clock. Goes up the baseline. It's good. Here is Frazier. Well, the three is king right now, and spacing can be a problem for the Pelicans.
Well, the team knows they only have a handful of dead-eye shooters. They were in the bottom third for threes taken last year. They play to their strengths, which is a good thing, but in order for them to take the next step, it's got to be some dynamic play from the perimeter.
Clock at 4. New Orleans needs to get off a shot. Good on the shot. Miller's got his second bucket.
Oh, you know, Davis, and he knows, is going to draw the attention of multiple defenders, and that time connects with a teammate to get it done.
Now, here's Vonleh. 14 points from him the last game against Boston.
A lot of those plays came off tremendous hustle. He was committed to ripping down as many rebounds as he possibly could in this one.
Smith against Davis. Here's the three. Smith, no good.
He just can't find the bottom of the net right now. He's looking frustrated. This quarter has been a bit of a nightmare for him.
Frazier against Smith. Now here is Holiday. He's tightly guarded. Count that bucket. And that's now 6 points for Davis.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Conley kicks to Robinson. Here's Trier. No good with the triple.
In a tough game for the guys around him, mainly because his shot's been hit and miss.
Back to Frazier. Dishes it to Okafor. 9 feet out. Robinson with the block. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jahlil Okafor. That's his first foul for the Knicks. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Robinson. And it's Ntilikina in for Trier. And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
Yeah, and they were just shaky at times when it mattered most in that game, and it cost them.
Yeah, Greg, I think you're right there. At major turning points, they'd miss a series of shots, they'd make some mistakes, and it led to the wipeout.
Ntilikina kicks to Smith. The dish to Jordan. Here's Knox. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Boston. Here's Smith. Buries the 20-footer. Smith's got his second bucket of the night.
And I like seeing Smith Jr. being assertive on offense. When he does this, it often results in points.
Now here's Frazier. He's still scoreless so far in this one. That one's off. He starts the game with a miss. Here's Ntilikina, and Davis sends it back.
Phenomenal defense by Anthony Davis to spike that shot back. He'd make a heck of a volleyball player.
One of my favorite moves is the Euro step. I know it's one of yours as well. There are a lot of guys that can do it well.
Well, I got to see Manu Ginobili step around me for years in San Antonio. But I think James Harden is still the most devastating Euro step player we have in the game. There's something about the lefties, isn't there, Kevin? We have a hard time figuring
they
a
throw
lefty
you off.
out.
They throw you off automatically just by the left hand.
Right.
Then they add the little side step.
And James Harden with the shiftiness and the way he moves the ball around and draws contact. I know there are a lot of people that get aggravated by that, but he's nearly impossible to stop, especially when he's got his passport with the Euro step.
He slithers. And I'll tell you, Brent, a lot of distractions for the Knicks over the last few years.
Well, quite a number of coaching changes, obvious changes to the front office, so that means you're turning in a different direction, and some people in the Knicks organization really having a hard time just getting along with one another.
That one is no good.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
And he makes that one.
Fleshing out his offensive game over time. Ntilikina wants to keep improving in the paint.
Here is Frazier. The Knicks making the shot. Here's Diallo. 9-point game his last outing. And the foul's on Cheick Diallo. That is his first foul of the game. Clark, he's checked in for New Orleans. For New York, they've gone 6 of 14 shooting the ball since the start of the game. Here's Dotson. It's Hezonja in the corner. First trip to the line for him here.
Not the best statistic for him in terms of his performance at the line. Very low numbers.
He misses the free throw. Last season, Brent, the Pelicans took such a step forward as their role players really stepped up.
Well, how huge was AD and all the things he's capable of doing? Just a once-in-a-generation talent. Guys like Holiday, Moore, those guys played so great down the stretch when they got some more freedom after the Cousins injury. The Pelicans have had some issues with depth in the past, but they seem to have put that behind them last year.
Here's Clark. Pass to Diallo. And Jordan sends it back.
If there's one end of the floor that DJ takes seriously, it's the defensive end, and he loves to get up and reject those shots.
Moutier with the ball. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Celtics in Boston.
Loved his passing tonight as well. He was just cutting the defense to pieces out there.
And it's good for 2. Moutier's got the game tied up here for the Knicks.
And that's about as easy as it gets. Not many guys are going to blow wide open layups at the professional level like that.
Clark finds Johnson. Inside. And it's blocked by Jordan. Davis. And here's Moutier. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. And it's E'Twaun Moore with the foul. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loop shots.
And the free throw is good, now leading by 1. And DeAndre Jordan, the all-time leader in career field goal percentage, Greg, by a sizable margin.
Yeah, the most prolific dunker in the league, maybe in league history.
Drew Holiday, he's checked in for E'Twaun Moore. Pass to Johnson. Buries it down low. Johnson's got his first points of the game.
Now, how about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket.
Here's Dotson. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
And it's all about the release when you shoot the floater.
The Pelicans have gone 8 of 14 from the field in the first quarter. Outside Holiday to the middle. High post Davis. He's against Jordan. The shot by Holiday, no good. The Knicks with the lead. Dotson the pass to Ntilikina. Moutier, no good.
Well, from our angle, that looked like that was going in. But defense, fantastic how they contested it.
Good on the shot.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
New York shooting 47% from the field to start things off. Unloads from 13. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Moutier's got his second basket of the night. And here's Holiday, who will bring it up for the New Orleans Pelicans, coming off that loss against Philadelphia.
Yeah, they were just pounded on the inside, particularly on that backboard. That was a huge disadvantage for them.
Well, the only way to compensate for getting out-rebounded as much as they did is to shoot about 99% from the floor. Haven't seen that happen.
First one falls for him. Well, Greg, Anthony Davis with so much talent, it's easy to take Drew Holiday for granted.
I mean, I think Holiday is the catalyst in terms of this team's ability to create and really put pressure on an offense. It has improved his scoring and become a very efficient option at that guard spot. Has always been selective with his shots, but now is pressing a bit more to get involved, and more aggression from him, I think, has helped his production.
Traveling has been a concern for the NBA for a while. For a purist like you, do you like that?
Well, you got to get from city to city, Kevin.
I don't think that's the kind of traveling I'm talking about here. Yes. I only ask you pay attention.
I'm sorry,
that's all. It's a simple request.
Yeah, they're doing a better job. Some get away with it more than others. How's that?
What an answer. Thank you, Brent.
Alvin Gentry, one of the best offensive minds and coaches in this league. Remember, just in the recent past, about his time in Phoenix and then in Golden State. Now as the head coach of the Pelicans, and he's done a great job just speeding up this team, pushing the ball, and trying to find ways to put up points.
And it's the Knicks with the ball, following the score by New Orleans.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
He kicks it to Davis. For New Orleans, they have been successful on 3 of their 4 free throw attempts up to this point. And the first one at the line is good.
#1 pick overall in the draft, coming out of Kentucky, and it just feels like Anthony Davis has had one focus on his mind, and that is to become the best player he can be. Love to see his evolution.
Boy, he's got a great stroke from the line. That's not something we can say about all the league's big guys.
Lobs it up for Jordan. Here's Ntilikina. Jordan. It's good on the putback.
And how about that beautiful display for us of DeAndre Jordan and that wingspan getting to that ball.
Here's Clark. To the wing right side. Holiday inside the line. It's hauled in by DeAndre Jordan. Jordan's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. That one goes in. Guys back and forth this first half.
And this could continue to go back and forth the entire way.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Here's Clark. On the wing, Johnson. Hezonja defending. Diallo the pass to Johnson. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. Five seconds left to play in the first quarter. With 1 on the clock, and he was able to put it up in time, but doesn't fall. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Knicks out front, up by 1. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. Frank Ntilikina has established himself as a legit defender. He spoke about his mindset.
Defense is 80% of will and 20% ability. So you try to stop the player in front of you and you try to deny him to score the basket. That's just the challenge, and that's what I love in this part of the game.
A young player with an advanced understanding of defense, and his length gives him an edge.
And his defense is something he enjoys. If he can put it all together at both ends, he's a player you can build around.
And this has been a fairly close game through the first quarter, and we'll see what happens here in the second. And what stands out to you from New York in this one?
They're just not sitting back. They are going for steals, and their activity has been terrific.
Yeah, so that disruption is helping out because it's leading to some easy chances on the other end.
So for New Orleans right now, Payton and Holiday are together in the backcourt. Diallo out there with Johnson. And it's Davis in at the 5 spot.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Here's Ntilikina. After Drew Holiday's score, that one good for 2. Ntilikina's got 6 points.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, just looking at this box score and wondering what Anthony Davis hasn't done. This guy's been on a roll since the tip.
Just over 1 minute has passed here in the second quarter. Passes it to Ntilikina. Kicks it to Jordan. Shot clock at 6. Over Payton. No good from Jordan.
The game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding has been the one differentiator thus far.
Payton outside. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Well, many people had some high expectations for Elfrid Payton when he was drafted 10th in 2014. His offensive game has come along nicely. He sees the floor. He scores on the inside. I don't think he'll ever be a perimeter threat. And defensively, he could be a little bit more active.
No good on the free throw. And Brent, as you mentioned, as good as Payton has made himself with the ball in his hands, his defense is holding him back.
Yeah, and some of those areas of weakness are easily addressed. You just can't get yourself out of position by overthinking possessions or gambling too much. It's just not a good way to go. So as much as you're the lead guard with the ball, sometimes defensively as a lead guard you can set the tone for a defensive possession. Payton needs to learn that. You look at the New York Knicks, desperate to compete again and get themselves back into the playoffs. Remember, 1973, their last championship year. the likes of Willis Reed, Walt Frazier, Earl the Pearl Monroe. Maybe they could use a couple of those guys now.
And it's Smith missing. And so Miller will bring it up for New Orleans. Only giving up 2 points this quarter. And it's Holiday at the elbow. Payton left side. That one wide left. And since 1973, only 2 finals appearances for the New York Knicks.
Yep, 1994, they lost to the Rockets in 7 games. And in 99, that was the lockout shortened season. They lost to the Spurs eventually on their home court in 5 games. No finals appearances for the New York Knicks in the new millennium.
Knox shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. And that ties it up. The Pelicans have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Payton against Smith. Payton drives in. And he drops in the layup off the glass. And the Pelicans lead by 2.
Yeah, I think on the scouting report, the challenge was make Payton make those shots. Well, Payton's making those shots.
Nice shot by Smith. Smith's got 6 points.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Payton kicks to Davis. To the middle. Here's Okafor. And Okafor slams it in.
Oh, an aggressive move and fantastic finish.
Trying to send a message with that slam, I think. For New York, they've gone 3 of 7 shooting the ball here in the second quarter. Here's Smith. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. And you know, Dennis Smith Jr. is a player who just is oozing with confidence when you see him play.
I just love how Smith Jr. will attack every player he goes up against. Chris Paul, who Smith Jr. goes way back with, noticed how even as a rookie, he approaches every challenge head on. As a rookie, Smith Jr. was just jawing at the vets and dunking on everyone. He has the game to back up that personality.
First free throw is good.
And it's the combination of athleticism, speed, and intelligence Smith Jr. has that's so impressive. Just a dynamic point guard with loads of potential.
The Knicks making a switch here. Conley's checked in. Ejuan Moore, he's checked in for New Orleans. Frazier comes in for Drew Holiday. And he makes both free throws.
And last year for the Knicks, a bit of a throwback offense. First in the league in 2-point attempts. And second to last in the league in 3-point attempts. We'll see if the new coaching staff changes some of those numbers.
And stolen by Vonleh. Here's Knox. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. And talking about the Knicks last year, definitely one of the bigger teams in the NBA.
Interesting to look down at their scoring last year, as their top 4 scorers were either centers or forwards. And that's a little bit unusual in today's game, where most of the impact's coming from the point guard or a wing player. Not the case for the Knicks, so they're looking for some backcourt help.
Now here's Moore. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. To the paint, here's Miller. Count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed assist. Miller's got the game tied up here for New Orleans. The Knicks shooting a respectable 47% from the field in this one. Smith with a wide open look. Nailed from 3-point land. Smith's got 7 points for the quarter. For New Orleans, they've gone 5 of 7 from the field here in the second. Frazier right side. Robinson with the block. And so it looks like the Pelicans will retain possession here. Here's Miller, and the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Yeah, he's averaging 80% from the line, and he has been as steady as they come at the stripe.
That free throw good from Miller. Well, when you play against the Pelicans, Brent, you know you're going to be running.
Yep, track shoes on. Pelicans played at the highest pace last year in the league, and you can expect more of the same as long as Alvin Gentry is the coach. This is something he believes in, and he's got one of the best running centers in the league. The team generates a ton of easy looks and finishes because of the pace of play.
The Pelicans have gone 6 of 9 in the second quarter. Some good work from the field. Frazier scanning the floor. The pass to Miller. 5 to shoot. Here's Okafor. Robinson with the block. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pelicans will retain possession. Just 2 to shoot. A 3 off the inbound. Shot by Frazier, no good. It's taken away by Payton. And that one goes long.
And the defense cannot afford to be that lazy. You got to be up on the shooters at all times, especially at the mid-range.
Vonleh's shot is good.
This is a kid who loves to play. Vonleh working hard on the offensive boards, then going into a myriad of moves that he's been developing for the score.
Now here's Moore. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. He feeds it to Okafor. Stolen by Robinson. And a fast break now for the Knicks. Here's Trier. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
And they have yet to miss a shot from the line here this quarter.
For New York, they have shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here.
2 shots.
The first one falls. Brent being disruptive, forcing turnovers, something the Knicks couldn't do last season.
Yeah, last year, 29th in the league in steals. The roster was more big than quick last year, so unable to extend some of their pressure because of the way that they played. It makes it hard to fire up some of that transition offense if you're not getting out there and getting steals. Well, he talks so much about rhythm from the field. How about a rhythm from the free throw line? That looks good.
Payton finds Moore to the inside. Okafor. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
For New Orleans, they have gone 7 of 9 from the free throw line tonight.
And 74% has been the mark for them on the season thus far.
And that one misses. Hard to believe, isn't it, that a few years ago the direction for this Pelicans team was uncertain.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Alvin Gentry has found his way to put his imprint on this team. A lot of people not sure of how and if he could do that. He certainly has. He took some time to get those ideas in place. And the offense was never a problem with this group, especially with the way that Drew Holiday had such a huge year. It's going to be about some defense and some depth for them to push it a little bit further this season. Well, there are good fouls, and then there's those fouls. That's not a good one. Limits himself on defense, and he can't nearly be as physical for the rest of the period.
And Miller with the block. Now here's Frazier. Not a lot of room. Okafor trying to get open is Miller. And it's Okafor missing.
And you got to give him credit there. Great effort to contest that shot.
Well, I love the fact that they put the security system on their house, protecting the paint there.
Outside for Robinson. Pass to Knox. It's stolen by Frazier. And now the Pelicans on the break. Payton dishes to Okafor. Pass to Frazier over Smith. A nice shot by Frazier. Now here is Smith. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Boston.
And he caused major problems with his defense as well. He had 4 steals by the time the game was over.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, it seems every season new records are set for the number of three-pointers made and attempted. It's proven to be successful, and of course, it is a copycat league. It's hard to know why it took so long for everyone to catch on, but now that they have, the effects continue to ripple throughout the league.
They sure have, David. Thank you. Here is Miller. After New York gets the 3, back to Frazier. Three-pointer on the way. The shot that time, not on target. The Knicks go the other way with it. Up next for them, the Grizzlies at the FedEx Forum. And that one will start off a 3-game road trip for the team. Trier passes to Vonleh, tries from 10. It's rebounded by New Orleans.
The defense, not so good. And when you're deep inside like that, you got to come through.
And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2.
A tremendous opportunity for David Fizdale to re-energize his coaching career. Just that short stint he had in Memphis. He's a smart guy, a ton of charisma, which of course the New York fans are going to react to, and try to rework this roster and find some talent and push forward.
That free throw good from Miller. And when it came to hiring Fizdale, the Knicks went so far as to contact their former coach, Pat Riley.
Yeah, Pat, a bit of Knicks royalty with his success in the Big Apple, said this about Fizdale, that he's got a great mind and that he'll be mentally prepared for everything New York throws at him. So a good choice for the Knicks, and we'll see how he performs in the big city.
So he gets them both.
Well, it's interesting to watch him because he's putting his body on the line to get to the line. We didn't see this during the first quarter, but he's making up for it here.
Frazier, the pass to Diallo. Over Vonleh. And again, New Orleans has no up. Fires from 18. Ntilikina gets the bucket. Ntilikina's got 8.
That's exactly what you want Moutier doing. Seeing the open man and firing that pass over to him for the clean look.
Here's Clark over Vonleh. Ntilikina with the rebound.
And he completely threw the timing off on that jumper. That is how you D up.
Playing with tremendous aggressiveness without fouling. That's an excellent job. Yeah, even though he's been off, the team's still winning, so the hope is that he's going to get going. I'm just wondering why the defense is laying off. Luckily, they didn't pay for their mistake.
No one near Moutier as he lets it go. No good for the 5th time from the floor this game. He's made 2 shots. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Here's Clark. Passes it to Diallo. And here's Moore outside. It's rebounded by New York.
And a really smart defender there. He just reads the play, wastes no time trying to blow it up.
And what I like best is that he does it completely under control. Really gives the shooter nowhere to turn to.
Now here's Moutier. Just 5 to shoot. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. He has 6.
Well, he's 1 for 5 in the quarter, and his body language is saying a lot about where his confidence is. Rattled just a little bit. Maybe the next open look will start him up.
Here is Frazier, and the pass to Diallo. He kicks to Clark. Pass to Moore. Over Hezonja. And again, no good by New Orleans.
Somehow, some way, he couldn't get that one to fall from in between. Got to take advantage of the weak defense when you can. What's interesting about Moutier is how cavernous the gap is between the strengths and weaknesses that he has. On the plus side, he creates shots for himself, but how many of those shots is he actually going to make? The other part about his game, though, is his distribution is pretty solid. So if he plays in the pick and roll, he can find teammates.
The free throw good from Moutier. Another thing about Moutier, really good on-ball defender. That marks him.
Well, a better defender when his man's in front of him and not as good at chasing guys through screens. He seems to either get bumped off route or try to take shortcuts that cost him. But offensively is where it is. He needs to just be better at decision making and get that jump shot to be more consistent.
And a great job from the line this quarter. They've gotten their percentage way up there.
Outside Holiday. Pass to Diallo. They could use a bucket. Up again. Davis on the follow. Davis has got 4 points in the quarter.
Yeah, you think you have AD rooted out, but he can use his length and use his size and get another rebound.
Passes it to Jordan. And it's Jordan with the jam.
Yeah, a nice, strong finish on the inside.
But Greg, that's what he does. He's got the dunker mentality. Outside Holiday. Down low. And Davis throws it down.
Enjoy that unselfish play from Holiday for that swing pass to the open teammate.
56 seconds left now here in the second. Here's Dotson. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Jordan inside. Johnson's there. The shot's good from Jordan. Jordan's got 9.
I love the confidence from Jordan. All of his shots are going to come from the paint, so he should be confident when he's got the ball there.
Clark finds Holiday over Moutier. It's a hand on it. Jordan with the rebound. New York leading by 8. Here's Azania. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good.
If they can just hold this now for the last shot.
Right, no need to give the ball back here. Run the clock down, be patient, and run a decent play.
He's only listed at 6'4", but Holiday plays bigger than that. That's the case on D more than anywhere else. He can guard 3 positions, and there's a lot of value in that.
First one falls for him. All 3 throws good from Drew Holiday. Here's Moutier. He's got 8. Lets it go from deep. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. And so we wrap up the first half. Knicks lead by 6. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Alongside Coach Alvin Gentry. Alvin, what sorts of adjustments are you going to make in the second half?
Well, we just got to get ourselves organized. We got to get back. We got to take better shots. You know, the problem that we have is we're taking bad shots and they're running out on them. We just got to take good shots and we got to get back and get our defense set.
The best defense is offensive efficiency. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings, friends and neighbors. 1 half down, another half to go. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. For the Knicks, the first quarter was pretty even. They did jump out to a lead in the opening period, but 4 points was the biggest it got. They really touched on the right formula in the second quarter as they were able to pull out to a 6-point lead before the halftime break. Taking a look at the Knicks, Kenny, what'd you think?
Well, their reserves showed up tonight, not just on hustle plays, but in points. And that's what you got to do coming off the bench to maximize your minutes.
Shaq, how do you think New Orleans played?
They played some solid team basketball, Ernie. Pretty good. They were sharing the ball. We saw some nice feeds, a lot of movement. It wasn't 5 individuals out there. It was one cohesive unit, and they got the assist to show for it. Their rhythm was nice.
And that'll do it for us. The third quarter about to begin with Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll catch you on the flip side.
My brother.
And in that first half, we saw a pretty tight battle. We'll soon find out what sort of adjustments were discussed during the half. You look at Anthony Davis in this game, he's been everywhere.
And how about that? Already through 2 quarters and some change, he's got a double-double.
Well, it's an impressive performance thus far, but it goes beyond just his ability. Right now, he's just simply outworking the opponent.
We've got second half action for you, and if the next couple quarters are similar to the first, this one could go down to the last possession. Knox out there with Von. Then it's Dennis Smith. Then it's Robinson, and it's Trier in at the 2-guard spot. And that's the group for David Fizdale as we begin the second half. It'll go, and the Knicks lead is cut down to just 4 points with a bucket from Drew Holiday.
Well, when your guards are willing to go in there to the hoop like Drew Holiday, it's a huge confidence boost for the rest of the team.
Robinson passes to Knox. Over Miller. Good D by Miller. Pelicans trail by 4. Inside. Here's Holiday. Robinson pulls it in. Robinson's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. The pass to Knox. Here's Trier. Smith outside. Off target with his 3. And so Miller will bring it up for the New Orleans Pelicans. They haven't given up any points here in the second half. And Alfred Payton, over his 4 seasons, developing one of the most distinctive hairstyles in the league.
You know, and I remember seeing some footage where his hair seemed to block his vision on a shot attempt. For a player who had struggled shooting the ball, many question whether a trim might be in order. We'll see.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
First free throw is good.
Well, we've seen indications of Payton and his all-around game, but we just would want to see the evolution of the shot come along, just more consistent from the outside. That's the next step.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And here in the second half of play, we're just over a minute in. Smith up top, covered by Payton. Nice shot by Smith.
And done it in a variety of ways. When Smith starts to feel it, boy, he can torch you off the drive as well as with the jumper.
Now here's Davis. He's got 16. The shot's good. Payton's got 7.
And defensively, this is the opposite of how you want to start the second half.
Yeah, it's like 4 teenagers at home over the summer, just not enough activity. You've gotten your rest. It's time to man up.
Here's Robinson. Following the basket by Alfred Payton. Vonleh's shot is good.
Still working on his postgame. Vonleh using that giant 7'3" wingspan to full advantage.
Pelicans trail by 4. Payton looking around. Davis. That shot off. So New York will take it the other way. To the inside. Here's Knox. And the basket is good. And he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
Yeah, you got to appreciate the mindset of Smith. Solid at running the offense and finding his teammates who are open.
And so it's New Orleans with it. 7-point differential. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Washington. They'll face the Wizards. That'll be the last game of their very short 3-game road tour. And the foul on Dennis Smith Jr. That is his first foul of the game. Here's Miller. He's got 11. To the left side wing. Holiday attacking, and there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. New York called for the foul.
Well, after some seasons that were a little tough on Drew Holiday, both on and off the floor, he certainly got back on track last year in a big way. Posted his best season and played in the most games since the All-Star year he had in Philly in 13. So the health is always a concern, but Drew Holiday stepped up and was massive in the playoffs last year for this Pelican ball club.
That's good from Holiday. And Brent, last season Holiday wasn't asked to do as much playmaking, and it seemed like it allowed him to focus on his scoring.
Well, I give Drew Holiday a ton of credit, Kevin. He went from being asked to work on off-guard skills to being shifted back to the point guard because of a Rondo injury, and then later in the season had to go back to all of the things he worked on in the offseason as an off-guard. And when he did that, he shined. So a heck of a season on the mental side of things for Drew Holiday last year.
Offensive rebound, and the basket by Knox.
And this is what happens when you fail to block out.
Defensive rebounding just as important as causing the miss in the first place.
Now here's Payton. He's got 7. It's Miller on the wing. Knicks with the rebound. Here's Smith. From downtown, hits it from 3-point range. Smith's got 5 points now this quarter.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans.
And he's probably looking at some matchups on the floor he'd like to take advantage of.
Now, I'm interested in what he's seeing and then what kind of play they run coming out of this timeout.
Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. Take a look at the Warriors. They like where they stand right now, perched in that topmost position. And checking out New Orleans, just way behind.
And I think for New Orleans, so far it looks like the adjustments they made in the offseason aren't going to produce the desired effect.
Lots of season left to go, so maybe a little too early to say that. The results have been anything but positive early on, but we've seen plenty of teams dig themselves out of big holes after early season woes. Artful passing on that play, showing a real desire to set up the teammate.
There's the feed to Vonleh. And Davis sends it back. Miller kicks to Payton, and stolen by Vonleh. Here's Trier, guarded by Holiday. Trier passes to Robinson. Here's Smith, and Davis sends it back. Fast break, here they come. Here's Okafor. It's good, the assist that time from Holiday. Holiday's got 5 assists tonight.
That play happens because of the solid pass from Holiday.
New York leading by 7. Here's Trier. He's got 6. Smith outside. And Davis sends it back. Payton kicks to Davis. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
And with everything that Anthony Davis does on offense, it's just mind-boggling. His scoring inside and out, the percentages, he does it all. He is undoubtedly one of the best big men in the league, and many would argue he is the best in the NBA.
The first free throw is good. And with Anthony Davis, the stat lines, Greg, he can post on any given night are just absurd.
Really, Davis still strong defensively, but he really impacts every facet of the game. One of the rare players who can carry a team on both ends of the floor. There just aren't many great players that can lead a team to a championship, but I think Davis is of that mold.
Now here is Smith. 16 points for him. To the middle. Here's Vonleh, and it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Vonleh's got 6.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high percentage looks from inside.
Here's Trier, guarded by Holiday. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws. It's on Jahlil Okafor. First one falls for him. And so he hits both. Well, Brent, we're seeing the hack-a-shack targets improve their free throw shooting. Rules changes might curb the strategy, though, going forward.
Well, it's been nice to see that NBA players have worked on a weakness of theirs, free throw shooting in particular, to be better and be somebody who can stay on the floor to impact your team's winning. We saw that last year, Andre Drummond being a prime example. The other thing, Kevin, that we've seen too is coaches having to implement strategies, not just to do the hacking, but in terms of their substitutions and who's on the floor. So interesting thought processes from both ends, but mostly go shoot some free throws, guys.
Yeah, practice.
Practice.
Here's Holiday, 11 points in the game. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. Holiday's got 13 points.
Love to see the resolve from an offensive player after a disappointing first half. He's been terrific here in the second.
Smith for three. And Davis pulls it down. Davis has got his 16th rebound on the night. Holiday goes in. And Moore kicks to Holiday. Second chance shot, and he hits the jump shot. Holiday's got 9 points here in the second half.
A lot of people feel like Moore has natural point guard ability, so I like to see him find the open man.
Smith the pass to Knox. He dishes it to Vonleh. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Smith. Nice jump shot from the top of the key. He's got 18.
Easy to lose track of the pick and roll. Smith Jr., his speed and IQ are superb.
And plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up. And the foul goes against New York. And that one falls for Okafor. And a whole new group out on the floor right now for the Knicks. And then for New Orleans, Diallo, he's checked in for Davis. Johnson comes in for Drew Holiday. And Ian Clark subbed in for Elfrid Payton. Both free throws good from Okafor. New York leading by 7. Now Moutier, 8 points for him. It's Herzonia in the corner. Pass to Dotson. 6 on the shot clock. And there's a whistle. That goes on Ian Clark. That's his first foul. Moutier with the ball. Pass to Ntilikina. 6 to shoot. He tries for 3. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Diallo's got 7 rebounds in the game. Moore finds Okafor. Back to Moore to the right side. Diallo the pass to Johnson. Drills it from outside. Johnson's got 7 points. The Knicks leading by 4. And here's Moutier. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. With a break in the action, let's go to the 2K leaderboard for a look at this season's stingiest defensive teams. Number 5, the Knicks.
I mean, terrific rim protection. I mean, they rotate and help on the inside as well as anybody. And, of course, you want to keep offenses on the outside shooting jump shots, and that continues to be the goal.
And he knocks down the first one.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
That one misses, so he goes 1 for 2.
And still trying to find his footing in the league. Moutier must show improvement in his shooting moving forward.
No good from Moore. New York leading by 5. Here's Ntilikina. Jordan kicks to Ntilikina. Now here's Moutier. He's guarded closely. Shot clock at 5. Beyond the arc. Okafor grabs the miss. The Pelicans have gone 7 of 13 in the third quarter so far, just above 50%. Now here's Moore. He's tightly guarded, and Okafor slams it in.
And how about the incredible timing on that alley-oop?
He absolutely hammered it down. And a tremendous Unleash Chaos replay coming to you courtesy of Under Armour Hover Hat. And DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
Well, that's where he's a huge threat to complete any sort of alley-oop. You could throw that at the top of the square, and DJ's going to throw it in.
Moore outside. Kicks to Okafor from 18 feet away. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. Diallo's got his first points of the night.
You know, his positioning near the hoop, always to his advantage. Just a terrific job to tip that one back in.
Pass to Hazanya. Here's Ntilikina. It's hauled in by Diallo. Diallo's got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Teardrop shot. That one's in there. The Knicks lead is cut down to just 1 on the bucket from Moore.
Good touch on the inside from each one Moore. Never bashful about taking it right to the defense.
Here's Moutier, and Moutier throws it down.
And how about the execution on that play? The screen was set up in exactly the right spot.
And the finish wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, it's funny how you see so many picks, but this one sets up the defense well. No one rotates over. Bang.
Here's Okafor. The Knicks making the shot. Johnson kicks to Diallo. And here's Moore outside. The Knicks pull it in. Jordan's got 9 rebounds now tonight. And this is his 3rd trip to the line tonight. And that one misses.
Well, there is continuous energy in DeAndre Jordan's play, really hustling on both ends and influencing those plays with that activity.
Dennis Smith, he's checked in for the Knicks. And the second free throw, good. Pelicans trail by 4. 1:32 left in the third. Clark, the pass to Diallo. Another shot. He lays it in. Diallo's got his second bucket of the night.
Tremendous effort. He will not be denied on the offensive glass.
Here's Moutier. The shot, no good. Excellent D there from Okafor. Johnson attacking. Here's Moore. And he hits it to tie the game up. Moore's got 4 this quarter.
Well, he's like a fumbling banker right now, dropping dimes with ease. I like how well he led his teammate on that possession.
Now here's Moutier, guarded close, and Hezonja gets it to go. And so it's New Orleans with it. Moore finds Okafor. Johnson outside. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. This is his first free throw of the game.
And he's been terrific, guys. I mean, the percentage right around 86%. So no doubt he's pleased with that.
Shooting 2.
First one falls for him. The Pelicans making a switch here. Miller's checked in. That one is no good. It's stolen by Johnson.
If they play it right, we're talking a 2-for-1.
Yeah, this is where it comes down to really good clock management, and you want to maximize each of your possessions.
Here's Moutier. He's got 11. We've got 33 seconds left in the third. He kicks to Jordan. The pass to Smith. And here is Hezonja. Okafor with the steal. Johnson surveying the floor. Now here's Moore. Taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now he averages about 9 points a game. Pass to Okafor. Over Jordan. That shot is off. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Pelicans ahead, up by 1. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. Let's take a listen now to Alvin Gentry.
All right, guys, remember what we said now. Hey, play our basketball. We've been doing a great job. Let's keep it up, okay? Let's go now.
Alvin Gentry has found an identity that's working, and that makes everything a lot easier on both ends.
And collectively, you really need to remember what that feels like so you can recapture it if and when things start to get a little shaky. You want to be able to trust in who you are.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. On the court for the Pelicans, getting the fourth quarter going. Johnson is out there with Etuan Moore. Then there's Okafor. Then it's Miller, and it's Diallo in at the 4 slot.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
The shot's good from Ntilikina.
What a deft player. Give Ntilikina a little breathing room, and he is going to knock down that floater.
And Moore kicks to Miller. Pass to Okafor. And stolen by Jordan. Here's Ntilikina. No good that time. And New Orleans will come the other way. Passes it to Okafor. New Orleans moving it around. Miller. The reverse. It's deflected. And they're on the break. The shot's good from Smith. Smith's got 20.
And have to defend better in the paint. They just let him set up way too deep.
Well, he's going to punish you down there if you're not more physical than he is, and look for them to go right back to that play.
Back to Moore. To the paint. Here's Diallo, and he goes in for the dunk.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. Etuan Moore is someone, Brent, who bounced around early in his career, but has still found a way to be a big contributor.
Yeah, and I think that the fit for Etuan Moore, having AD. He can kind of stay in the background and get shots off where he's open, his feet are set, and you can see that trend in his field goal percentage that's coming into the league. Last year had a phenomenal year shooting the ball.
New Orleans making some changes here. Davis is checked in for Diallo. Holiday comes in for Stanley Johnson. And it's Elfrid Payton in for Ejuan Moore. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, during that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what David Fizdale said to the team. He knows his team is struggling tonight from the three-point line, so he told them to go for more quality shots inside. We're shooting way too many threes, he said. No more Hail Marys. Let's get inside to the post. Back to you guys.
Thank you, David. Both shots good from the stripe. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. Payton against Smith. Payton dishes to Okafor, and Okafor slams it in.
You risk getting torched when somebody's open. Payton's skilled enough to find the open man.
And it's Smith with the ball. He brings it up for New York. They've led by as many as 11 points. Tipped away. Down low. Outside for Jordan. Shot clock at 6. Here's Trier. Gets an open look and hits. Trier's got 4 points now in the quarter. Pelicans trail by 5. Here's Holiday. Payton outside. Outside, Davis. There's the pass to Holiday. Offline with his 3. Knicks have gone an outstanding 4 of 5 from the field in the fourth quarter so far. Smith, no good. For New Orleans, they've gone 2 for 5 on field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. And Smith with a clear path to the hoop. And Smith with the stuff.
And Smith turns on the Jets when he's running in transition. I just love the overall aggressive nature of his game.
Smith against Payton. Holiday up top. And the shot is good.
Interior D lacking, and it couldn't be at a worse time giving up that easy one.
Well, just an incredibly slow rotation. That is someone's responsibility and something they're going to need to discuss.
Smith kicks to Jordan. Pass to Trier. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
Clearly a foul.
And the first one drops. Robinson's checked in for Jordan. Good on both. Now Payton. To the middle. Davis, the pass to Payton. Kicks it to Okafor. 6 on the shot clock. Holiday inside the line. The putback. It's good on the putback.
And folks, he did not luck into that one. He knew just where he wanted to be to grab that backboard.
New York leading by 5. Here's Trier. New York, no good that time either. The Pelicans have gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting an even 50% from the field. Payton against Smith. Payton finds Davis. The Knicks pull it in.
And you got to give him credit there. Great effort to contest that shot.
Well, I love the fact that they put the security system on their house, protecting the paint there.
Now, here's Vonleh. Pass to Trier. Dishes to Smith. Three-pointer. Great D that time from Payton. Pelicans trail by 5. Miller with the ball. Davis kicks to Payton. And stolen by Vonleh. And Elfrid Payton with the foul. That's his 5th foul.
Yeah, it's a tough call, but he has to be better in avoiding contact on that play. That's his 5th foul. And one more, it'll be hitting the showers.
Here's Knox. New York, no good that time either. The Pelicans shooting 48% from the field. Not bad at all. Throws it up high. Rebound by Smith. New York leading by 5. Pass to Trier from 13. And it falls over the rim and in. Trier's got 8 points here in this quarter.
Well, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
Davis kicks to Payton. There's the dish to Okafor. To the paint. Here's Davis. They shoot again. Yes, indeed, it is good. He's now 8 for 14.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Trier passes to Smith. The pass to Knox. They get it again. Vonleh. And Davis sends it back. Here's Vonleh. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot.
Great positioning on the glass, jumping all over that miss and sticking it back in.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Davis, that's good. And it's Payton with the assist. Payton's got assist number 8 here in this one already. Smith dishes to Vonleh. Back to Smith. Just 5 to shoot. Fires the 3. A second chance effort. Pelicans pull it in.
And I really thought he was going to send that shot the other way, but at least he forces the miss.
Well, just good timing on his part. Anytime the shooter has to adjust, the defense wins.
One shot, gentlemen.
That's good from Payton. And so it's New York with it. They've led by as many as 11 points. Vonleh kicks to Smith. Over Payton. And it's off the back rim. No good.
Gotta make those shots. Not sure how he missed it. The defense was just okay.
Pass to Okafor. Stolen by Robinson. Smith against Payton. Shot from 16. Smith, no good. And so it's Davis. He'll bring the ball up for the New Orleans Pelicans. Trailing by 2. Here's Okafor. Ball's knocked loose. From 11 feet away. Good on the jump shot. Trier's got 12 points in just the second half.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
To the paint and stolen by Vonleh. Here's Trier, guarded by Holiday. It's Robinson, top of the key. Pass to Knox. Offline with his 3.
Well, he had 1 3-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs. And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And, Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
Well, it fires up your teammates and the fans when you make plays like that out in the open court and explosive.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over.
Well, they've been turning that ball over way too much, and they really need to address this if they want to win this game. Huddle up, boys.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, DeAndre Jordan.
He's put on a shooting exhibition for us here tonight. He's missed a couple along the way, but it sure seems like everything's been falling for him. The only way to keep him from converting is to keep the ball out of his hands.
Now here's Okafor. That one's in there. The Knicks lead is cut down to just 4 points with a bucket from Anthony Davis.
Well, AD defining the word clutch on that one. Huge shot there.
New York's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. Pass to Knox. Trying to find Smith. He's got it now. Here's Knox. Ball's knocked loose. 4 on the clock. 3 on 3. Here's Davis. And it's slammed in by Davis.
And Kevin, maybe the play of the game right there.
A tremendous instinct straight to come up with a steal and then attack the basket.
Well, the other part is just reading the crucial moment. That's a clutch move right there. It could change the outcome of the game.
Fast break. Here they come. Here's Okafor. No good. That would have tied it.
And forcing the miss there, he just knows how to pressure you defensively.
You hear a lot about rim protection. This is a good example of how valuable it can be.
The Knicks shooting about 43% here in the fourth quarter. The pass to Vonleh. Over Okafor. The shot by Vonleh no good. The Pelicans trail. Payton right side. 1:41 left to play here in the fourth. And that one's good by Davis.
One of the surest things in the NBA right now is Anthony Davis, the ball inside, and him converting 2 points. He needs to try to get another basket this quarter because clearly his jumper is not going down right now.
Here's Holiday. Robinson with the block. But they get it back. Okafor finds Miller. To take the lead. And gets hacked by the D. He'll go to the line.
Way to attack there and then create the contact.
First free throw is good, and that gives them the lead. So he drops them both. It's a 2-point ball game.
Very nice there. He does not waste those opportunities. Just what they needed with this game still in doubt.
Payton against Smith. Trier passes to Smith. New York moving it around. They need this. And Davis pulls it down.
I think the D is just fine with those kind of shot attempts coming from him there because he's not hitting anything right now.
Goes back up. Here's Payton. Goes up again. Here's Okafor. Yes!
Oh, that is the play of the game.
Nothing more rewarding than hitting the big shot for your team.
New York calls timeout. They're trailing by 4. There's 37 seconds left to play here in the fourth. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for New York. Lobs it up for Jordan. Money!
Well, here's a bit of an anomaly on the offensive end here tonight. DeAndre Jordan taking control and imposing his offensive will.
And so Payton will bring it up for New Orleans. Out to Miller. 26 seconds left in the fourth. He dishes it to Okafor. Lets it fly. Yes!
Full speed ahead. I mean, they have been in control since the opening tip, and that may have sealed the deal.
I can imagine a lot of things right now, but a comeback, that's not one of them.
New York calls timeout. They're down by 4. There's 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what do you think?
Well, I mean, if they can score, then they're going to have to foul immediately.
Well, I'm sure that's part of the discussion, not whether to foul, but maybe who.
Here's Knox. Money! And that shot brings them to within just 1. 11 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And that's an intentional foul.
Had to foul, and on that occasion to stop the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
He drops the first one, and that will put them up by 2. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 3-point game.
Well, important there to have the 3-point lead because only a 3 can tie it up now.
Smith for 3. No good from 3-point territory, and he commits the intentional foul.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
Good on the first, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. So he gets them both, and it's a 5-point game.
Tons of credit there on the focus level to stay calm in a huge moment, and he ices the game.
So we see the Pelicans get the win here. A truly gutsy performance away from home.
You know, it really was. And Kevin, when this one was hanging in the balance late, they showed just what a tough-minded group they can be.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Anthony, tell us the focus for the team coming into the game tonight.
Well, you know, before we started the game, you know, Coach came in and told us that we knew what we had to do. You know, we were trying to stop a lot of their actions, and, you know, our biggest focus for the game was guard the ball. That's what we did, come out of that timeout and never look back.
And it led to a win. Thank you for your time, Anthony. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.